Hi, I'm Scott Siegel, and welcome to our landmark 15th edition of the Great American Songbook Concert Series. Yes, we made it to 15 shows, and we've done so thanks to the generous contributions of more than 275 wonderful people who have donated to help make this series possible. They support our singers and our songs, and we love them for it. And you know what? We're going to get right to it because we want to give you those singers and those songs as soon as possible. So we're going to start with a song written by Kander and Ev for Liza Minnelli in 1972 for her famous TV special, Liza with a Z. And to sing a song from that famous show, we have with us a Olivier Award winner for her performance in Zorro on the West End. And she also starred on Broadway in Matilda, the original cast, and she starred in Dames at Sea. Then she also has a Drama Desk nomination in the category of solo performance. So she is quite the package. And yes, she is quite the package. Here is Lesli, Margarita.
I got a story to tell about a Manhattan lady that I know very well. She lives at 5 Riverside. Her name is Shirley DeVore, and she traveled around the world to meet the guy next door. Well, there was trouble inside apartment 29E, 'cause Shirley's mother and dad were as upset as can be. They said, "We hate to complain, dear, and we don't like to grouse, but you're nearly 32. You should get out of the house. You gotta ring them bells, you gotta ring them bells. You gotta make them sing and really ring them bells. It's such a happy thing to hear them ting-a-ling. You gotta ring them bells." Well, Shirley was 31, which she was loath to admit, and she had never been loved, which didn't thrill her a bit. And so she sat and she thought for hours on end, and said, "I'll go to Chase Manhattan, where I got me a friend." And so she borrowed a plow and called TWA, and told her mother and dad that she was up and away. "I'm gonna travel the continent, a month, maybe 2, and haul me home a huzz if it's the last thing I do." You gotta ring them bells, you gotta ring them bells. You gotta make them sing and really ring them bells. It's such a happy thing to hear them ting-a-ling. You gotta ring them bells. She met a Londoner first, but they did not hit it off, 'cause every time she approached, he got a bronchial cough. And so she went to Madrid and met a handsome senor, but he liked to throw the ball and he was no matador. She also bombed out in Brussels, in Mallorca and Rome, till someone said, "Try Dubrovnik, dear, before you go home, 'cause it's the kind of a town where you're likely to fall, and all the Tony Cognoscenti find the Balkans a bore. Darling, you must go, you must go, you must. You've got to ring them bells, you've got to ring them bells. You've got to make them sing and really ring them bells. It's such a happy thing to hear them ting-a-ling. You've got to ring them bells." And so she went to Dubrovnik, and the very first day, she met a guy on the beach who took her racing away. Yes, it was love at first sight, and quite a beautiful scene. She said, "My name is Shirley DeVore." He said, "I'm Noam Saperstein." She said, "Are you from New York?" He said, "That can't be denied. I got a swell Junior 3 at number 5 Riverside." Five Riverside Drive in New York? That's where you live? That's where I live. You can't live at 5. Are you sure? And if that wasn't enough, poor Shirley thought she'd gone deaf when he told her his apartment there was 29F. Yeah, she was E, he was F, and they had not even met until she traveled the world to Yugoslavia yet. He'd always been right next door, and she would never have known. If she hadn't tried Dubrovnik, she might still be alone. Well, there's a moral to learn from little Shirley DeVore, who had to borrow a plow to find a lover next door. You girls who live in apartments, Don't just stare at the wall. Open up the door and hurry out in the hall. And ring them bells. Come on, ring them bells. Make them sing and really ring them bells. It's such a happy thing to hear a ting-a-ling. You gotta swing them, ring them, swing them, ring them bells.
Lesli, Margarita, everybody. That was terrific. Well, now we turn from Candor Ebb to Andrew Lloyd Webber and his show Evita. And this is perhaps the show's most famous number. The title for the song was actually inspired by a plaque at Eva Perón's grave. And the plaque was presented by the city's taxi union, and it roughly translates to, "Don't cry for me, Argentina, I remain quite close to you." And to sing this classic Andrew Lloyd Webber song for you, we have a young woman whose Broadway credits include Wicked, Beautiful, Jagged Little Pill, and Evita. Here is Laurel Harris.
It won't be easy. You think it's strange when I try to explain how I feel, that I still need your love after all that I've done. You won't believe me. All you will see is a girl you once knew, although she's dressed up to the nines at 6s and 7s with you. I had to let it happen. I had to change. Couldn't stay all my life down at heel, looking out of the window, staying out of the sun. So I chose freedom, running around, trying everything new, but nothing impressed me at all. I never expected it to. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. Jamás poderes, ambiciones, mentiras dijeron de mí. Mi lugar vuestro es, por vosotros luché. Yo solo quiero sentirnos muy cerca, poder intentar abrir mi ventana y saber que nunca me van a olvidar. No llores por mi Argentina, mi alma está contigo, mi vida entera te la dedico, mas no te alejes, te necesito. Don't cry for me, Argentina. The truth is I never left you. All through my wild days, my mad existence, I kept my promise. Don't keep your distance. Have I said too much? There is nothing more I can think of to say to you. But all you have to do is look at me to know that every word is true.
Laurel Harris, she is the real deal. And speaking of the real deal, let me return briefly to the more than 275 generous people who've contributed so that our performers get paid for their work, many of them donating multiple times. They are the real deal, and they are the producers of this Great American Songbook concert series, and you'll see them credited as producers, every one of them, at the end of our show. In addition, a generous couple, Tom and Maren Hood, have once again raised the cap on the matching fund that they established so that your donations will still be automatically doubled. That means our audience producers and the Hood Matching Fund will have succeeded in getting this series through the holiday season. And with your help, we'll get it through this dark winter too. Please help keep this concert series alive so that we can continue to pay performers for their work. Donations have flagged over the last many weeks, probably because of the election. People had candidates they wanted to donate to, which I totally understand. But if you can help out now and over the next many weeks to come, that would be greatly appreciated. The performers really need your help. All you have to do is go to GoFundMe.com and search for Pay American Songbook Singers Matching Fund. Click on that and donate, and just like that, you're a producer. You'll see the information for donating to the matching fund every now and then on your screen, but only when I'm talking, never during anyone's performance. Now, I need to remind you, though, that this matching fund means nothing at all if there's nothing to match. So please give these performers some help. They really need it. And thank you. And now we're going to go back to the show. The song you're going to hear next comes from the Hollywood movie Royal Wedding. The male star was Fred Astaire, but finding him a female co-star was a bit of a trial. June Allison was originally signed for the role, but when she got pregnant, she had to drop out. She was replaced by Judy Garland, for whom the song you're going to hear was written, but Judy couldn't keep up with the shooting schedule, and she too had to be replaced. Enter Jane Powell, who actually performed the song in the movie, and the song went on to become nominated for a Best Song Academy Award. To sing it for you now, we have a gentleman who was nominated for a Tony Award for his performance as the male lead Chris in the original Broadway production of Miss Saigon. Here is Willie Falk.
Too late now to forget your smile, the way we'd cling when we danced a while. Too late now to forget and go on to someone new. Too late now to forget your voice, the way one word makes my heart rejoice. Too late now to imagine myself away from you. All the dreams that we dreamed together, I relive when we're apart. All the tender words together stay here in my heart. How can I ever close the door and be the same as I was before? Darling, no, no, I can't anymore. It's too late now. All the dreams as I was before. Darling, no, no, I can't anymore. It's too late now.
What a beautiful, heartfelt rendition of Too Late Now. Thank you, Willie. Now we turn to something entirely contemporary, a song from the hit Hugh Jackman movie musical, The Greatest Showman. The song is Never Enough. It was performed in the movie by the character of Jenny Lind, the Swedish nightingale. In real life, Hugh Jackman's character P.T. Barnum did indeed bring Jenny Lind to America, and they did tour the country together. But there was no romance as the movie depicts. In fact, Jenny Lind fired Barnum because she was annoyed by all of his incessant promotions. Nonetheless, in the movie, this is a romantically thrilling number. To perform it for you now, I have the Venezuelan Nightingale. She's performed for me at Town Hall and at Feinstein's 54 Below. Here is Bettina Lobo.
I'm trying to hold my breath, let it stay this way. Can't let this moment end. You set off a dream in me, getting louder now. Can you hear it echoing? Take my hand, will you share this with me? 'Cause darling, without you, all the shine of 1,000 spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough for me. Never, 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 never for me, for me. Spotlights, all the stars we steal from the night sky will never be enough, never be enough. Towers of gold are still too little. These hands could hold the world, but it'll never be enough, never be enough. For me, never, 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 never. For me, never enough, never enough, never enough. For me, for me, for me.
Bettina Lobo. That was great. Now, The song you're going to hear next was recorded in 1944 by Joe Stafford. It became a top 10 Billboard hit. It became so famous, in fact, that the following year, it was the title tune of a new Hollywood movie starring Eddie Bracken. And in a comic bit, when he sings the song, Bing Crosby's far more famous voice comes out of his mouth. Since then, this Harold Arlen, Johnny Mercer classic has been performed by the likes of Ella Fitzgerald, Tony Bennett, and Rosemary Clooney. To sing it for you now is an award-winning vocalist, and one of the awards she won, the Hanson Award, I was honored to give her early in her career. It's my great honor to introduce you now to Jeanne MacDonald.
You're clear out of this world when I'm looking at you. I hear out of this world the music that no mortal ever knew. You're right out of a book, the fairy tale I read when I was so high. No armored knight out of a book could find a more enchanted Lorelei than I. After waiting so long for the right time, after reaching so long for a star, all at once from a long and lonely nighttime, and despite time, here you are. I'd cry out of this world if you said we were through. So let me fly out of this world and spend the next eternity or two with you. After waiting so long for the right time, after reaching so long for a star, all at once from a long and lonely nighttime, and despite time, here you are. I'd cry out of this world if you said we were through. So let me fly out of this world and spend the next eternity or two with you.
Jeannie, that was lovely. Great to see and hear you again. Now, this next song has a surprising history. It's Simon and Garfunkel's first hit song, The Sounds of Silence. It was on their original album, Wednesday Morning, 3 a.m. This is the album. If you have it, it's worth a fortune. They only sold 3,000 copies of this. It was such a disaster that Simon and Garfunkel split up. Paul went to Europe. Artie went back to college. They were done. Would never have heard from them again, except for the fact that a DJ up in Boston liked the Sounds of Silence and started playing it on the overnights. And it got picked up in Florida, got played some more down there. And the original producer of Wednesday Morning 3 a.m. got wind of this and decided to remix the song. He never told Simon and Garfunkel. He put it out again. And then one day, when Paul is playing this little club up in Denmark, he picks up a copy of Billboard and sees The Sounds of Silence is on the charts. Well, he and Artie got back together again. And Paul tells the story of he and Artie sitting in his car parked on a side street in Queens, where both of them were living with their respective parents at this point when they came back. And they were smoking a joint when they heard the DJ on the radio announce, "Here is Simon and Garfunkel's #1 hit." Now, Artie turned to Paul and said, "That's Simon and Garfunkel. They must be having a great time." Well, the following year, The Sounds of Silence was famously included in the 1967 hit movie The Graduate. And that song, that almost disappeared without a trace, ultimately became the 18th most performed song of the 20th century. And now, another generation has discovered The Sounds of Silence. Here to perform it for you is a young man who recently made his mark at Town Hall's Broadway's Rising Stars concert. He's performed at Feinstein's 54 Below, and he's now also an award-winning young actor. Please welcome Christopher Bryan.
Hello, darkness, my old friend. I've come to talk with you again. Because a vision softly creeping left its seeds while I was sleeping. And the vision that was planted in my brain still remains within the sound of silence. In restless dreams I walk alone, narrow streets of cobblestone, neath the halo of a street lamp. I turn my collar to the cold and damp. When my eyes were stabbed by the flash of a neon light that split the night and touched the sound of silence. And in the naked light I saw 10,000 people, maybe more. People talking without speaking, people hearing without listening, people writing songs that voices never share, and no one dare disturb the sound of silence. Fool, said I, you do not know. Silence like cancer grows. Hear my words that I might teach you. Take my arm that I might reach you. But my words like silent raindrops fell and echoed in the wells of silence. And the people bowed and prayed to the neon god they made, and the sign flashed out its warning in the words that it was forming. And the sign said the words of the prophet are written on the subway walls and tenement halls, and whispered in the sound of silence.
I love his interpretation of this song. Christopher Bryan, great job. Now, this next song was written by Peggy Lee. It's not one of her big hits. She recorded it early in her career with the Benny Goodman Orchestra. But it just seemed like the kind of song that you might want to sing in the face of a pandemic. That's why we picked it. And to sing it for you, I'm delighted we have the multi-award-winning nightclub star and actress Clea Blackhurst.
Though hope is low, I'm aglow when you smile at me. Life as simple as ABC. Not a thought in my head, not a care in the world. Though skies are gray, I'm as gay as a Disney cow. Not a wrinkle upon my brow, not a cent in the red, not a care in the world. I view the scene like that old queen of Russia, as Kate the Great used to state long ago. Nietzsche bow, so if I move in a groove with a giddy trot, I'm a trottin' because I've got not a bean in my pot, not a care in the world. Rent's overdue, my sister has measles, hole in my shoe, my belt's drawn tight, my income is nil, my in-laws are weasels, my present is dark, my future's a fright. But as long as you are there, what in the world do I care? Though I can't jive, I'm alive when I see your face. Not a limp in my merry pace, not a crimp in my style, not a care in the world. Though I'm a wreck, I can peck if you'll take a chance. Not a shine on my blue serge pants, not a crack in my smile, not a care in the world. Why should I fret when I bet on a sure thing? As Nick the Greek used to say every day, yippee-yay. So if I'm strutting with nothing I had in store, there's a reason I said before, and I'll say it once more. Not a care, not a cent in the red, not a crumb in my bed, not a crack in my smile. I said it before, and I'll say it once more. Not a care in the world.
Thank you, Clea, for lifting our spirits. We really appreciate it. And now I've got one more famous standard for you, but before we get to it, I have some brief thank yous. And my first thank you is to my technical director, Alexander Yakovlev. He is a digital magician, which is actually hard to say, but even harder to do. So, thank you, Alexander. And a big thank you to a special woman who never wants a credit, but she certainly deserves one, not just for this show, but for all of my shows. Because she's in my life, I don't have a care in the world. Thank you to my sensational wife, Barbara Siegel. And a huge thank you to the more than 275 audience producers who donated, many of them multiple times, so that our performers in 15 concerts so far could be paid. And it's not just the money, it's the dignity of a paycheck, the acknowledgement that what they do is important and has value. So please join our wonderfully supportive list of audience producers and donate yourself, please. Remember, right now your donation will be doubled while we still have a matching fund offered by the exceptionally generous couple Tom and Maren Hood. In other words, your help at this moment would be huge. Please don't hesitate. Now you can donate through the GoFundMe campaign that you've been seeing on the screen occasionally throughout this concert. You can also give directly through either the Venmo or Zelle apps on your phones if you have them, or you can give the old-fashioned way with a check by writing to siegelentertainment@msn.com, and I'll email you back with the information you need. We'll put all of those methods up on the screen for you right after our last song and hold them on the screen for you so you have plenty of time to write them down. Please help us keep this series going by donating, and all donations will be matched no matter how you send them in. Just think of the impact of having your donation doubled. Think how much that would help. And now, ladies and gentlemen, here is our last song. It began as a solo jazz saxophone instrumental in 1949 titled Twisted. The young Andy Ross put lyrics to it in 1952 and had an underground jazz hit with the tune. And eventually, it led to her winning Downbeat Magazine's New Star Award, and it became her signature song. And it was subsequently recorded by stars as diverse as Bette Midler and Joni Mitchell. And now we have another star who's going to cover it for you right now. He's a TV star, a jazz recording artist, and a 2-time Tony nominee. Ladies and gentlemen, here is Tom Wopat.
Well, we're going to give this a shot. I have no idea. But we'll see if it at least even comes close to working. A boom, a doom, a doom, a doom, boom, ba doom, doom, dum, 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 dum. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head the way he described it. He said I'd be better dead than alive. I didn't listen to his jive. I knew all along he was all wrong, and I knew that he thought I was crazy, but I'm not. Oh no. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head. He said I'd need treatment. I'm not easily led. He said I was the type that was most inclined, turned out of this sight to be out of my mind. And he thought I was nuts. No more ifs or ands or buts. They say as a child I appeared a little bit wild with all my crazy ideas. I knew what was happening. I knew I was a genius. What's so strange when you know that you're a wizard at 3? I knew that this was meant to be. I'd heard little children were supposed to sleep tight. That's why I got into the vodka one night. My parents got frantic, didn't know what to do. I saw some crazy scenes before I came to. Now, do you think I was crazy? I may have been only 3, but I was swinging. They all of that A. Graham Bell, they all of that Edison, and also with Einstein. So why should I feel sorry if they just couldn't understand the idiomatic logic that went on in my head? I had a brain, I was insane. Oh, they used to laugh at me when I refused to ride on all those double-decker buses because there was no driver on the top. My analyst told me that I was right out of my head. I said, hey doc, it's you instead. I got a thing unique and new to prove that I'll have the last laugh on you. Cause instead of one head, I got 2. And you know 2 heads are better than 1. Yeah.